you have some interest, I assume, those of you who just came in iPhones and iPads. Hi, come on in. iPads, good. Well, this class today is, as you see on the screen, how to make your iPhone or iPads a better experience by making sure you can see and hear. So there's little tweaks that we can make in your phone or iPad to make everything easier. So that's what we're going to cover. Let's go ahead and do that. These are the topics. Siri, have you heard of Siri? Okay, and we're going to talk about larger text, about Safari Reader. You can see down through the screen, we're going to be ending up talking a bit about hearing aids even. All that you can control from your iPhone and your iPad. Okay, the first thing that you're going to need to do just to be able to find out what options you have is in Settings under General. So you're going to touch Settings, General, and then About to see the version, what's called the iOS, the operating system version. Once you get there, you're going to click Accessibility, and then you'll be able to see your options. So under the Accessibility tab or section, you'll be able to see menu for larger text, bold text, increasing contrast. So in the settings, you'll find out your options. Okay, first step is Siri. And Siri, of course, takes place when you grab your screen and hold the button, and then Siri magically appears. And it can appear as a microphone. It can appear with these questions, I'm waiting, and these are the things that Siri can do. So for example, if you want Siri to remind you of something, you're going to leave here and you need a reminder, stop at the store. So you hold Siri. Siri, remind me to stop at the store at 3 o'clock.
Okay, I'll remind you.
And so you can see that. So I'll get a reminder at 3 o'clock from Siri saying, stop at the store. It's wonderful. It can do all kinds of things. And in my opinion, anything's better than having to type. So if you can learn how to master Siri, it really is helpful. And it certainly, therefore, is easier than seeing what you're typing and having to correct. So as I say, you can add a reminder. You can get directions. You can set an alarm. So every night before I go to bed, Siri, set an alarm for 5:45 or whenever. And Siri can frustrate you, but that's another story. Okay, so let's talk first about text size. In my case, I have, as you can see, a fairly large iPhone, but I also want the larger text to be able to see easily. I'm too embarrassed to have reading glasses. So there's a switch that says larger accessibility sizes. Notice how it works. You're going to go to Settings, General, and then in General, Accessibility. And over here, larger text, you can turn that on. And once you turn it on, you can use the slider to determine how large a text you want to see. So you have real flexibility there, and it's very nice. So if you have a teeny little phone, you're not going to want monstrous text. But the larger your phone, the easier it is to take up space, to be able to glance and read instead of having to study and look. Okay, for some people, and notice the contrast here, most of our screens look like this. But if an inverted screen is nice, if you want the text to stand out, then you can change from a white background to a dark background. So that's called inverting colors. Some people use this on night mode. So at night, if you're reading before you go to sleep, your eyes aren't in a glare like a deer in a headlight. So for some, just a bit easier to read with that dark background. Now, this is one of the things I think is really, really nice. On an iPad or on an iPhone, if you're trying to read an article on your iPhone, and again, you've got a smaller screen, it's really tough. I don't want advertisements and all kinds of other things in the way. My space is precious. So notice when you use Safari, you go to a website, Oasis in this case, you'll see one thing for sure, maybe two. First, notice it says Reader View available. So you know you can avail yourself of that. But if it doesn't say that, and that's only there temporarily, then you can touch these lines, and notice what happens now. Notice the logo, the menu items, it changes. This is the Reader View, where all you have is text, uninterrupted. So let's look at the two side by side. Here's the normal Oasis view. You have all this. Looks nice, space nice, but sometimes you simply want to get to the text without any distraction and readability. So you can see the difference. So that's called Reader View, and again, it's accessed by touching those lines to the left of your URL area where you type. Okay? Reader View, I think, is just wonderful.
Is that because that site, Oasis site, was programmed for that? Or
It's
the other sites don't necessarily have that?
many. Actually, I would say most do, but not all. But the sites you're looking for, of course, are sites where there's going to be text to read,
Yeah.
not just pure pictures or something. So yes, the site has to agree, but I found almost any site where there's reading, this Reader View is available.
Okay.
Now, yes. So I'd say it's pretty ubiquitous, pretty available.
The lines are to the top left.
The lines are always, if you're looking at the screen, is to the top left. Once you get to a website, exactly. So let me go back again. They're right here. This is exactly what the screen will look like. Okay, so we have Siri, we have the Reader View, we have larger text, which is wonderful. Okay, one of the things that I like, I swam too much as a child and always had swimmer's ears, so I've lost a lot of my hearing. Has nothing to do with my age. And I miss the phone often. So I have several ways to correct that, but my wife was constantly saying, Larry, get the phone, can't you hear it? It's right on your hip. I couldn't hear it. So I set it to vibrate, and I set it to vibrate as hard as it will vibrate, and so it's pounding my hip. I love it. Now, as it rings and as it vibrates, I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna feel it. It's really funny when you put it on a table and it vibrates, you can actually feel it shaking the table. It's really kind of funny. So in a meeting, it doesn't do me any good to just silence the phone, otherwise it's vibrating. But it's wonderful if you have hearing issues. You can actually feel the vibration. So again, this is in settings, in general, in accessibility, and it's vibration. You can actually get to it in other places. There are calls that I really don't want to miss. And so this has been wonderful. All right. Visual voicemail. It can be so frustrating to have to listen 2 or 3 times to your voicemail, right? And so if you can just see it, how easy is that? So in cooperation with whoever your carrier is, you can turn on visual voicemail just by going to voicemail and getting it set up, and you can see what it looks like. You can read the entire message that's been left. Yes. And you can go back and forth.
These last two are just on the phone, not on an iPad.
That's correct.
Vibration is on an iPad.
Really? For like an alarm?
Yes.
Right, but voicemail is pretty much going to be on your phone. Okay, we moved here from Florida after 40 years. And we don't have basements in Florida. So basement was kind of a new thing to me. And we decided that's where our TV room's going to be. So we walked downstairs and the temperature changes like 10 or 15 degrees. I had no idea. So it's like too cold for me down there. So I find that I watch TV on my phone or on my iPad. But again, my ears get in the way, so I turn on closed captioning. And again, it makes life so much easier. I don't have to focus so much and have everything absolutely quiet around me. I can watch. And so you turn on closed captioning in settings, but see where it says CC? You can tap on CC and turn on closed captioning. Very, very nice. And again, to go back to the question you asked, do those who put their content on the web have to design it for that? The answer is yes. But very easy to turn on. One of the things that can be quite convenient, we've talked about, well, you can turn your ringer on really loud. You can turn it on vibration. But if you remember to consistently put your phone down, face down, it'll light up, it'll flash. And some people like that. And some people notice that kind of thing quite handily. So you can get what's called visual alerts. And most of your phones have a flash for your camera on it, a flash for a flashlight. And so that's what's lighting up. And certainly if the room is darker, it's like a torch. Okay. Speech and dictation. This feature really can be quite nice. You can have a screen read, or again, going back to something I said earlier, I'd rather do anything than type. And if I can learn to dictate, wow, then I don't have to type again. And with Apple's dictation system, you don't have to yell. You don't have to speak in some strange language, overly clear or slowly. You just talk in a normal tone. I'll show you that in a moment. So you can, in this case, we'll go back to reading what's on the screen. So you can actually turn on speak screen and choose the speaking rate, and it will read what's on the screen for you. Okay. Let's talk about dictation, and let me actually do it for you. So in dictation, anywhere where your keyboard pops up, in a mail, in a reminder, calendar event, it doesn't matter, this microphone will appear. And what you're going to do is wait for the beep, speak using punctuation marks, and then tell it you're done. Now, we have on the web, Oasis has on the web an instructional video for that as well. But again, let me just demo it for you. So I'm going to open my reminders, and I'm going to touch the microphone. Isn't this wonderful? Question mark. And you can see it puts the question mark in and everything. So, and that was even much slower than you need to dictate, but it's marvelous. The less typing, the better. So if you're fumbling around, where are the keys? Or when you touch keys, you're always touching two of them. Learning dictation is an option. And basically what I said a moment ago. So you speak your sentence, okay folks, comma, what do you think of this? Question mark. The sound wave will appear, and then make sure you tell it done. So you'll touch done. And then the dictation app will know it can transcribe. Hearing aids. I wear them, even though I'm way too young. I can control everything about these hearing aids. For example, if you were loud and unruly, I can set the app to say I'm in a noisy environment, and it filters. Or if it's just you and me in the room, I can touch the app and say there's no volume, this is just standard. Or if I'm in a service, if I'm in a church service, or I'm in a synagogue, or in Sarasota, Florida, where I lived for a while, the opera place, the Van Wezel, had what's called a telecoil. And it could beam in right from their soundboard, in essence, with no interference. So I'm not missing anything. So as you see, Apple was a leader in innovating this idea of integrating hearing systems, in this case a hearing aid, with their hardware. So all you have to do is find the compatible hearing aids as you talk to your audiologist. Super, super convenient. And it's made a big difference. As my wife would say, though, why don't you wear them when you get home? You take them off as soon as you get home. What? You don't want to hear me? Okay. So that's basically it. Those are some general areas where all you have to do is go to settings, flip some switches, and you've got larger text. You've got bold text. You can start dictating without doing anything. You just have to make sure dictation's on. Siri, I think, is a great feature. You can also continue to learn about not just enhancements, but anything you need to know about iPhones or iPads by connecting with our classes or visiting the Ask a Techie. And that's where you would make your connection to see what classes are scheduled, when is Ask a Techie, where do we hold these? All right, was that helpful, I hope?
Yes.
At least we didn't lead you step by step, but she gave you some hooks so you can see what your options are. All right, thank you. We're the last class. If they have any questions,
Yeah, you may ask questions.
Do you ever run into a problem where, like, when you were dictating and it was typing it, you say question mark? What if you say exclamation mark or period? Does it attempt to help you make a correction? Does Siri or somebody say, you asked a question, you put a period instead of a question
well,
mark?
see, the dictation is not Siri.
Oh,
So when you touch that microphone,
yes.
Siri is not activated. It would seem similar, but it's actually something totally different. So you're not pressing the home button.
Okay.
There's just that microphone instead of one of these keys.
Okay, what if while you were dictating, you say, are you done yet? Does it know it's part of a sentence and not the command done?
Yes, because it's waiting for you to touch done when you're done.
Okay.
So it's a physical touch you're going to have to give it.
Physical touch, okay.
Exactly.
One of the reasons I never use Siri is because I don't want people to know what I'm saying. That's why I like to just type.
So in that instance, you can keep your privacy by typing.
Yeah.
But there are other times when it's handy to be able to dictate.
Agreed.
So you just pick the tool for the right time
Agreed.
and the right environment.
Yeah, one of the reasons I don't use Siri is because you don't know who's around. So.
Yeah,
Oh,
if you're in
around
if you're out
physically.
like today, right?
Right.
And the same thing with LED flashlights. They're wonderful if you want to see the phone flashing, but you don't want to have that on when you go to the movie theater.
Right.
You'll really upset
Right.
people. So it's all about the right environment.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
very
you.
good.
Thank you.